members of Congress, my name is Amy Meckelberg. I'm founder of Rare Foundation USA. I come before you today out of profound love for this country and at great personal cost. For 15 years, I have documented Islam's assault on Europe and its dangerous advance inside of America. For defending Western values, Islam and its left-wing allies marked my family for destruction. They stalked us, they attacked my loved ones' careers, and sent death threats. Today, I travel with armed security. A simple walk, a grocery run, opening my front door, none of it is safe anymore. Islam has taken that from me. The hardest part of this fight, though, has been watching my friends pay the ultimate price. On January 29th, 2025, my friend Salwan Momika, an Iraqi Christian who fled to Sweden to escape Islam.
It's good to have you in Kigali for the East Africa CEO Summit.
Yes.
What's your is about following the CEO Forum of African countries?
So this is an important forum which I was privileged to represent Mr. President at Abidjan last year. The CEO Forum is the leading convening of African CEOs from every sector. And so they come in their numbers once a year to meet and talk about topical things on the continent and the issues concerning African economies and how to move the economy forward. I'm privileged to be on Mr. President's delegation. We just had a bilateral with President Kagame, hosting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The discussions were very, very cordial. You know, the sacrifice it is for the president to be here at this time, signifying the importance of the relationship between the two countries and why Mr. President is here today. They're both leaders in the AFCFTA. As you know, Nigeria is co-champion on digital trade. We talked about how to leverage the African Continental Free Trade Area. They talked about the importance of accelerating the pace at which we're trading. We talked about ongoing relations. You know, last year we entered into an air cargo corridor arrangement with Uganda Airways. We're also in talks with Rwandan Airways to see how Nigerian businesses can export more of their goods across the continent. And so those are the kinds of trading goods and trading services. We also had the discussion from other colleagues, briefing both presidents, and it was a very fruitful deliberation. As you know, we're coming from Nairobi, where we had the Africa-France intervention, the Africa Forward Summit. There we had about 40 CEOs from across the continent, both African and French, at the table talking to heads of state. Mr. President was also there talking about green industrialization and how to make sure that capital is consolidated on the continent to leverage what we need to do as Africans.
Like I always say, I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm here to tell you the truth. And it's only the truth that will set us free. Bianca Ojukwu is a very dangerous, evil woman that is in the midst of Igbo race. I'm not lying to you. Bianca Ojukwu was invited in the European Union to come and tell the story of what that is happening in Nigeria, more especially in Igbo land, to tell the European Union so that they would know how to handle it. Instead of Bianca Ojukwu to start narrating what is really happening in Igbo land concerning the injustice and the unaliving and disappearance of innocent souls, this woman switch and start talking about business just because Tinubu was their president, followed by Uganda president. All of them are there. Much of this woman that made Nigeria government to sentence Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment is in the watch of this evil woman that made Finland to sentence Mazi Samuel Ekpa to 6 years imprisonment because of the false allegation and the petition that this woman petitioned to the Finland. Now, between these two videos, this woman from the USA, Ami Melix, is here explaining to the world how Islamic operates, both in the world and in Nigeria particularly. He narrates the story the way it is. He tells the story, not this evil woman called Bianca Ojukwu. I'm not disrespecting her, but I'm saying the truth the way it is. I don't know how you may understand it, but the truth remains. So please, just pay close attention, because what you're about to hear, how this great woman from USA, Ami Melis, just explained what Islamic represent, is going to shock you. Please, don't watch this video in a hurry, because what you're about to listen will shock you. Without being waste much of your time, let's watch the video in full. Don't go anywhere.
Tinubu, the discussions were very, very cordial. You know, the sacrifice it is for the president to be here at this time, signifying the importance of the relationship between the two countries and why Mr. President is here today. They're both leaders in the AFCFTA. As you know, Nigeria is co-champion on digital trade. We talked about how to leverage the African Continental Free Trade Area. They talked about the importance of accelerating the pace at which we're trading. We talked about ongoing relations. You know, last year we entered into an air cargo corridor arrangement with Uganda Airways. We're also in talks with Rwandan Airways to see how Nigerian businesses can export more of their goods across the continent. And so those are the kinds of trading goods and trading services. We also had discussions from other colleagues briefing both presidents, and it was a very fruitful deliberation. As you know, we're coming from Nairobi, where we had the Africa-France intervention, the Africa Forward Summit. There we had about 40 CEOs from across the continent, both African and French, at the table talking to heads of state. Mr. President was also there talking about green industrialization and how to make sure that capital is consolidated on the continent to leverage what we need to do as Africans for Africans. And so it's been a very, very productive week that we're having so far. And we look forward to the opening of the Africa CEO tomorrow.
Okay, the private community on the continent are making a statement, scale of freedom. What does this mean, and what is Nigeria taking from this?
So Nigerian entrepreneurs were there in their numbers. Some of them will be here. I know that Dr. Rabiu is already in Kigali. They were all in Nairobi last year. Nigerian entrepreneurs are saying that consolidating across the continent is what is priority. When countries like Nigeria take the lead, through our business champions, we have about 23 of them that gross over $1 billion in revenue per annum. Now we had, of course, Alhaji Aliko, we had Dr. Rabiu, we had Agi Mokwe there, we had Tony Enumelu, we had Kola Karim. These are investors that are investing not just in Nigeria, but you heard Alhaji's announcement for Kenya. They are investing across the continent. We have other companies like Secure ID, which exports to about 22 African countries, and opened a factory in Nairobi, Kenya, which I also visited earlier this week. So you have Nigerians scaling outside of our country. We're creating jobs elsewhere. We're investing and, of course, remitting taxes back home. We have Nigerian businesses from medium to large going global. And that is the promise of the African Continental Free Trade Area. That is the promise of the Tinubu administration, to support businesses to scale. And so that's why we're here. That's why the government G2G, we had a very good deliberation with my counterpart, with the Nigeria French Business Council. All the names I listed were across the table. Our banks like Access, Zenith, in their numbers. Zenith Bank signed, they just had an acquisition in Kenya. They had another acquisition last week in Cote d'Ivoire. So you see Nigerian financial services, Nigerian manufacturing, Nigerian oil and gas really spreading across the continent. And so we want Nigerians to know that even as we invest at home, you know, Mr. President's priority, Nigeria first, domestic investors working on our business climate. But we've also seen us working on trade facilitation and investment mobilization in country and also outward. Because that is how you grow, that is how you become a leading power. So Nigeria's position as a leader on the African continent is not in doubt, and we just continue to consolidate that space.
Okay, one of the questions I want to ask is challenges surrounding ease of doing business. And the president has highlighted industry and agro-processing. What other subsectors are you looking at under your ministry to present at this forum?
So ease of doing business is something that we've been prioritizing. I'll just talk, when you talk about ease of doing business at scale, that's policy and regulation. I'll give you two examples. Because Nigeria is a trading nation, Mr. President focused on the National Single Window Project. That's an intervention that has defeated administration over administration for decades now. Mr. President announced it in April of 2024, and by March this year, it was rolled out phase 1. What that does is to make sure that as a trading nation, what you're importing and exporting is through a single portal. And it has been very, very well received by the private sector. Another thing you see piggybacking off from the UK trip is the port reform, Apapa and Tin Can. These are concrete things. Infrastructure also, you see the coastal road, you see rail projects, you see road projects across the country. Now, regulations, we continue to work on regulations that ensure that the ease of doing business, the speed, the time, the transparency. You've seen legislations also, our Securities and Investment Act, our tax architecture. These are things that over the last 3 years, the Tinubu administration has delivered, and the fruits of it is beginning to show. You've seen our GDP growing. You've seen that private sector, our domestic investors, the names I've listed, investing, reinvesting into the economy. You heard Alhaji Aliko Dangote's announcement about the expansion of his refinery, in addition to the commitment he's made to East Africa and another refinery there. So you see that investors are committed to the economy, and you don't do this when you don't have confidence in the policies of the administration, how the macroeconomics have been stabilized, inflation, the exchange rate, the certainty, the transparency, and then you just see how all the work of the last 3 years is now translating into growth, and the signals are coming down. Where we're taking it from here is the job creation as the businesses continue to grow, as we continue to facilitate for them. We have a platinum business champion. We also talked with the Nigeria French Business Council on we have with a number of private sector groups. We work with organized private sector and tangibly solving their problems. The confidence is growing, the trust is growing, and with that, they're able to invest more, they're able to create more jobs, and the prosperity will flow across Nigeria. The last thing I would say is that AFCFTA, we haven't just kept it at the federal level. About 2 weeks ago, we were in Kano to launch off our subnational AFCFTA tour. That was for the Northwest. And so we'll be going around regions in Nigeria to train, practicalize, share with state governments and local governments how each local government can have one product that will be exported across Africa. The two presidents today just talked about how we need to leverage more intra-African trade. That was also part of the theme of catalyzing capital on the continent in Nairobi yesterday. And these discussions, practicalizing them, that's our work at the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. And that's why we're here. And that's what we're delivering for Nigerians.
Thank you.
Thank you.
An Iraqi Christian who fled to Sweden to escape Islam was slaughtered as I watched. Sweden put him on trial for hate speech, for telling the truth about the threat that killed him. Salwan predicted his own assassination. He knew because the Sharia penalty for criticizing Islam is death. A 1,400-year-old war is being waged inside our country. Muhammad, the man that Muslims call their prophet, was a military commander whose mission was to bring the world under Islamic rule. The mission cannot be completed until America falls. Islam is a hostile, totalitarian political ideology using our freedoms to destroy us. To every non-Muslim, it offers 3 choices: convert, submit, or die. It does not stop until every court, every school, and every government on earth is under Sharia. The Muslim Brotherhood turned this imperative into a modern conquest strategy. 2 seized documents, the 1982 project and the 1991 explanatory memorandum, detail their 2-front plan. Build parallel Islamic societies that reject assimilation while their faithful capture our institutions. The Brotherhood wrote the playbook. Today, every hostile Islamic regime and faction is executing it on our soil. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey, Qatar, Pakistan, Hamas, the Taliban. Different countries, different sects, all marching in lockstep towards one conquest. These networks operate more than 8,000 Islamic nonprofits across America, including 650 in Texas alone. They built a parallel infrastructures, mosques, seminaries, school, Sharia banks, Sharia courts, Sharia clinics, charities, media, and political networks. They have no plans of assimilating. Texas and Florida are the Brotherhood's command centers. They are the clearest example of the first strategy: build massive fortresses where Muslims can live cradle to grave under full Sharia. In Texas, terror-tied Imam Yasser Qadi is fighting to build Epic City, a 402-acre Sharia compound marked as, quote, the epicenter of Islam in North America, end of quote. In Katy, an $80 million Sharia compound is rising under Brotherhood operative Main al-Quda, whose family are leading terrorists in Jordan. Hamad Ghazali, named in the 1991 memorandum, recruited Americans for Al-Qaeda. Today, he writes curriculum for Islamic school children across North America. Texas taxpayers are able to fund him through school vouchers. Across America, the Brotherhood is buying churches and converting them to mosques. A Lubbock school became a Brotherhood mosque in 45 days. In Dallas, 2 imams who preach hand amputation, sex with captives, and stoning adulterers are suing to seize a Christian megachurch. Garland, Texas hosts the U.S. headquarters of a Pakistani jihadi network that trains hundreds of terrorists, including the recent killer of the West Virginia National Guard member. In Florida, third-generation Brotherhood leader Magda El-Qadi Salah runs a self-contained Tampa enclave. A Houston mosque led by imam appointed by the Iran's supreme leader received $1 million in tax dollars while children pledged allegiance to Khomeini. Another Hamas-supporting Tex mega mosque hosted public school field trips while its imams preached that the fathers and brothers can kill adulterous daughters. Members of Congress, there is a little Muslim American girl right now born in Texas under our Constitution with every sacred right our forefathers fought and died to give her. She will never know any of them. Her own father, imam, and teachers raise her to believe she is worth less than half a man, and Islam's texts command this. If she is beaten, it is her fault. If she is raped, no American courthouse will hear her screams. If she is married off as a child to a pedophile, she will never know it is a crime. She is shielded from her birthright, raised to hate her own country, trained to subvert it. There are thousands like her and growing fast. This war's second strategy captures our institutions and cultures from within. Their operatives have penetrated our State Department, our courts, our school boards to subvert the Constitution and replace it. Hamas, doing business as CARE, has trained 50,000 lawyers, they boast of this, journalists, filmmakers, influencers to embed Islam and rewrite our history. When we object, they scream Islamophobia.
Bianca Ojukwu, even in your grave, even in the grave, your husband is despising on you. You will never know peace. No matter what you gain with these evil atrocities, it is in your watch that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in prison. It is in your watch that you petitioned Finland to prison Mazi Simon Ekpa, the man who stood firm never to allow Nigeria to prison Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But today, what is your gain? You will die shamefully. Believe me, because you are not doing good. Evil begats evil. Keep saying it, that our people are the problem that we are having in this Biafra struggle. Who am I? I'm only a messenger. If you love what we do here in this Global Love Channel TV, please don't hesitate to touch and have a subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell, so that whenever we upload a new video like this, you'll be the first person to be notified. And in doing that, you are continuing to do more, because togetherness, we shall save life together. Africa life matters. Whenever you see something, always say something, because an injustice for one remain an injustice for all. Till next time, see you in my next video. Bye for now. Thank you.